Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacalyn. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacalyn at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Happy holidays and welcome to USA Global TV. And hello to our friends listening on Business Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and we have a brand new show for you. I'm so excited. We are actually going to be broadcasting 5 days a week going forward. So our show today is 5 steps to build your style. And what a great time to look at this topic as we enter the new year. We have our style expert with us, my co-host, Elsa Boutaric. Welcome to the program.
Hello. How are you?
Hi. Tell our audience, where are you joining us from today?
Paris.
Paris, the capital of fashion, for sure.
Yes. I am based in Paris. Thank you so much for having me today. It's such a pleasure to be with you. Very excited and looking forward to it.
Thank you. I'm excited as well because there's always something new to learn about creating our style, looking at what kind of style do we have or what do we want to have and how are we being perceived in the world by our style.
Yes, of course. And as I always say, there is not just one single formula because we need to take into consideration that we are all different and we all have, different lifestyle, personality, budgets, and so on. And so really, I think the way to look for 2022 when it comes to your style, it's really to be honest with yourself and take a stand in front of the mirror and be like, okay, how do I feel with myself today? Do I feel like I need some improvement? Maybe can I get some feedback from my friend or my colleague at work? What do they see? What do they perceive about me when they see me? What is the first word that comes to mind? And that might help to better understand how others see you and how you want to be seen as well. That will be what I say. The first step to really look into how can I put my best foot forward for next year when it comes to my style, and then of course the formula that comes after it's way more detailed, but to really kind of know where you stand right now and see if you're really aligned with yourself, that might be the first thing to look into when it comes to your style.
That's a great point. Thank you so much, Elsa. I want to spotlight you and just share with our audience a little bit about your background and how you got so interested in pursuing this as a career.
Well, I started to work as a stylist in fashion editorial when I was studying actually at New York at the Boston School for Design. And so I was passionate about styling and the creativity that came around styling. But after some time working in magazine, I just felt like I was not dealing with the real life woman, so to speak, right? I was always surrounded by beautiful models, photographers, stylists. I mean, it was amazing. It was hard work as well, but I just felt like something was gapping. And so slowly, I moved into personal styling and just quickly found a passion about not only helping people to look better, but also to feel better. So not only, yes, clothes is definitely a huge part of my work, but there's a lot of confidence coaching that come into play. It's not just the clothes, it's how people really feel about themselves after a session with you. So I always say, it's really about understanding who my client is from the inside and really translating this in the outside, with all the component that comes into play. So really my passion is really about connecting with people, making them feel more beautiful and confident about themselves, and give them this, my formula to just feel better about themselves through the power of clothes.
Thank you so much for that. And I love how you brought in confidence, because we all want to feel confident about ourselves. And I remember through the course of my career that I retired from last year, I was working in an industry where people were wearing a lot of suits, women
Mm.
wearing suits, men wearing suits. And frequently people would say that they would put on the uniform, they put the suit on and they play the part and they do the work. And I always thought that was kind of interesting, because it seemed very inauthentic to me, that because you're putting something on, you're going to act a different way, or you're going to feel a different way. But can that happen? I mean, is that something that you've seen in your experience?
Oh yes, for sure. I had few clients actually who work in the corporate environment, but on the side are very creative people, for instance, or will not be very much accustomed to be wearing a suit. So for them at first, it was kind of like, okay, I feel like I'm lost into something that is really not me. But by the same token, they had no choice, because you have to work and you have to respect some rule, and the dress code are part of the rules. So yes, I did come across this, and really perhaps in that aspect, my goal perhaps was not perhaps my goal was, sorry, to really stick to those dress code, but finding the perfect cut, fabric, silhouette for the body shape, and also injecting, when we could, a little bit of color, or playing a little bit for women with accessories, to make them feel a little bit more themselves within that outfit.
Thank you. And is it possible, if you don't feel confident, that you can grow into that confidence?
Yes, for sure. Definitely. One of my clients, actually, who I'm still working with, I worked with her since January 2021. So it's been a long time now. And when she first got to me, she had no confidence whatsoever about how she felt about herself. So yes, of course, she wanted to solve a wardrobe issue. She was buying so much clothes that she actually would never wear. But my goal was really to understand and to analyze how she was talking to herself, right? So what was her own chatter about herself most of the time? So we got into that, we dug into it, and I gave her a lot of reframing exercise, which is also something that I've learned, during my certification as a personal stylist. I also did a little bit of lifestyle coach within that program, and so I help her to reframe, the way she was talking to about herself to herself, and that really helped her, coupling with, obviously, rebuilding a wardrobe and a style, changing her hair color, makeup, all of this together definitely made her feel more confident about herself. And actually, now that she did the work, she definitely feels better, because most of the time we are, and all of us, when we fear something, or when we lack confidence about something, we tend to get stuck in our mind, right? We tend to get stuck in the same shadow all over again, and we actually never take action. And I think this is through action that we actually see result, because most of the time we take the action and we realize, well, actually, it was not that much difficult for me to do that, right? So the mind tends to make it worse than what it is. And when it comes to confidence, most of the time it's a lack of self-love, the fear of the judgment. All of those things can be definitely part of the reason, but be kind to yourself. Nobody is perfect. We all have a confidence issue. I do too. And this is being a human. There is no shame into that. And really being honest and being vulnerable, it's actually not weakness, but it's actually power for you to change.
I love that. That's fantastic. And I appreciate the authenticity that you just shared. And so I'll share some authenticity as well, is that during my corporate career, I wore a lot of business suits with pants, a lot of pants, but I have ulcerative colitis and I've had it since 1991. And the bottom line is I don't wear pants anymore because my stomach's always sticking out just a little bit. And it would make me very self-confident because the belt would come right to where it's sticking out. So I just say, you know what? No more pants. That's it. And I feel like this whole level of confidence and freedom, knowing that I made a decision about how I was going to dress, which is good for my body type and good for how I feel about myself.
Sure, and this is exactly what we need to do, and it's okay. It's okay that we have part of ourselves that we dislike and part of ourselves that we most like. So let's just embrace what we love about ourselves.
Absolutely. So, we're talking about 5 steps to build your style. And I know you have a process that you use that's tried and true that works. Let's go through some of the other steps.
Okay. Well, when a client comes to me, the first step is really to understand where they stand. So that comes with their lifestyle. So, for instance, are you I don't know, are you coming to see me because you gained a lot of weight, for instance? And so this is part of your lifestyle, obviously, and you are a busy working mom and you feel like that your wardrobe doesn't fit that part of you now? Or did you just change country? So for instance, the country that you live now might be way hotter than the country you were before. Did you get a new job? Many things can come into play. So the lifestyle is very, 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 very important because you can't build a wardrobe around a lifestyle that is not what you are living on a daily basis. Why? Because you will not wear your clothes. You need to be comfortable with what you wear on a daily basis. Then we take a look into your body shape, because if you do not wear clothes that are flattering for your silhouette, unfortunately, it will just not look good on you and it will not elevate you. And the goal here, as we talked earlier, is to enhance the best part of yourself and to make sure that you look the part. The third is your color analysis. So understanding your color, sorry, doesn't mean that you need to be put within a block or this is all that you can wear, but understanding your color is just giving you a better understanding of how you can incorporate color in your wardrobe and what effect it will have on you. So wearing the right color will make you look healthier, younger, less tired, and will give you that little sparkle on daily basis. You don't need to wear like full-on color block. It can be with adding print in your shirt or accessories or your makeup. You can start small, that's fine, but it's always good to know it and to have a good understanding about it. Then we have what we call the style personality. So your style personality is pretty much, who you are with your authentic you. So this is very important for me to understand that, because even though you might be living a lifestyle of a corporate woman, your style personality might be different. And so here the goal is to find the right balance between the two. Your budget it's also very important, because I want to make sure that I allocate 80% of your budget toward your lifestyle needs. Why? Because if your wardrobe, which is the next step, is not built around your lifestyle needs, first you're gonna lose money and you're gonna lose time, because you're not gonna have clothes that are going to fit your lifestyle, so you're not gonna wear them, so you're not gonna buy the appropriate clothes, so losing time and losing money. So my goal is to make sure that you don't lose time and you don't lose money, that every day, next step, the wardrobe, when you open your wardrobe, everything is versatile for your lifestyle. Everything works for your body shape. Everything works for your color. Everything works for your style personality, and that the wardrobe that I've built for you is also fitted within your budget.
Oh my goodness. So many fantastic insights there. I appreciate it. And we actually have a comment. And this is from Mitchell, and he writes, it's very insightful and totally agree.
Thank
Very,
you.
yes. Fantastic. Okay, so something that you just touched on when we talk about budget, because people are always thinking, oh, I don't have the budget to do this or do
Mm.
that. So, how important is it when you're selecting your wardrobe about the fabric? So, for example, linen that crinkles, right? It gets very wrinkled and it takes extra care, or clothes that are dry clean only. Are these considerations that you should think of when you're selecting the wardrobe?
It is. Again, it depends for which reason and what is your lifestyle need. The fabric are very important. Obviously, the more noble are the fabric, the more it's expensive. So another way to look into it budget-wise, and when you still want to lean toward quality, is secondhand. Um, and I know some people might have issue with that. Well, guess what? You can buy secondhand and bring that to the dry cleaner and have it all clean. So this is also a good alternative when it comes to building a wardrobe that is a quality wardrobe. Then obviously, working within a budget, it's very important. And if some clients do not have, sorry, really the budget to buy noble fabric, then it's okay if you can't afford more than a Zara jacket. I mean, there's no shame into that. Some Zara jackets work very well and last for a long time. The goal is to really finding the pieces that really works for you. I mean, I have clients that can afford and I have clients that can't afford, and I work into it. So within that issue, I make sure that the pieces that I select are really pieces that are versatile, meaning if I were to select, and that's just an example, a black blazer, for instance, I want to make sure that this blazer will be able to mix and match her lifestyle for different events. So I want to make sure that she can pair it with a denim, pair it with a skirt or with a short, and those are also just example. But I just want to make sure that she can make the best out of it. So this is what we call the cost per wear. So how many times are you going to be wearing that piece? How many times you are going to actually need that piece? Do you see that piece as a timeless pieces? So for instance, some pieces, which is fine, sometimes you can just be like, oh my god, I need that, I love that, this looks just look amazing, and you might not need it, but that's like what I call a fashion crush, and that's fine, you can do that. But I would say that 80% of your wardrobe needs to be a wardrobe that you can see yourself into for quite a while. So timeless design, timeless pieces are also key to build a long-lasting wardrobe. And then obviously you change, and that's fine. You know, you're not gonna keep the same wardrobe forever, but you want to make the best out of it.
Yes, and the fact that you brought up about secondhand vintage, I think really we've talked about this somewhat before, but it just lends itself to sustainability when we look at our planet and caring for it.
Yes.
I am a huge advocate of secondhand. In fact, over the last few years, I've bought almost my entire wardrobe, whatever I have, from secondhand stores. And what happens is people, as time changes, people's style changes, and they start to look in the closet and say, you know what, I'm not going to be wearing that short skirt anymore. I don't need that pinstripe jacket. And so you can take it to a secondhand store, vintage consignment. It's in great condition, and then it becomes yours, and you give it life to keep going.
Exactly. So yes, it is also my thinking into building a wardrobe. Sustainability is key.
And I love the point that you made also about fabric. And when I think about my wardrobe today, I still have pieces from the 90s that are Armani or Chanel, that because of the way they were made and the quality of the fabric, they look brand new. It's really timeless. So I think it's, in some ways it makes sense to invest in a couple of pieces that are really timeless.
Of course. Definitely those major brands, which are definitely brand that you are going to, you'll keep them forever. You will also be able to give that to your daughters later on. So those are definitely timeless pieces to have. Actually, talking about that, I'm just remind myself that my grandmother, who is, she's still alive, but was back in the days like a fashionista, gave me amazing key pieces that I have now in my wardrobe from big designers. So if you can, definitely go for it.
It feels so good to give your items to somebody and see them wearing them and they continue on to another generation. I do that myself all the time, and it's just such a nice thing to be able to do.
Yes.
Elsa, as we look into 2022, and of course, people are going to be making all kinds of resolutions, some which are going to stick, some won't. But many resolutions, from what I've heard from different people around the world, have to do with self-care, have to do with self-love, and what the work that you're doing really ties so well into that. How do you work with your clients, and do you work with people all over the world?
You mean in terms of communication with them?
Yes. Yeah, you can work with people anywhere, right?
Yeah. I mean, thanks to I think one of the only good positive aspect out of COVID was that I was able to pivot a part of my business online. So I do work on one-on-one here in Paris, or if I'm booked to see a client like last time in the UK in London. But most of the time now with my international clientele, one of the latest actually based out of in Colorado in America, I work online with them. And I am able now to actually reproduce the same protocol and the same way of working with them online as I do on one-on-one. So I'm able to conduct a color analysis online. So instead of having my physical drape to do that, I have my digital drape. I'm able to conduct a personal styling session for them online. Obviously, I'm not with them in store like I would be on one-on-one, but I do that online for them. I also have an app, so that is that only my clients have access to. So my clients can upload picture of their wardrobe through the app. So it's like if I were with them, doing a wardrobe edit. So I can basically edit everything and then recommend new style for them through the app as well. So yeah, the technology has allowed me to continue my business on an international scale with my clients. So this is also good. I'm happy with that.
Congratulations. Tell us more about the app. You said it's only for people who are your clients. So that's one of the benefits of working with you.
Yes, exactly. So through this app, I have access to my client wardrobe. I actually do my new selection for them, and I create mood board for them so that they can have style inspiration directly under the profile through the app. And when they have those mood board recommendation, they can click and buy right away the item I recommend for them. The good thing about that is that I can also work with new pieces I recommend for them, and also what they currently have in their wardrobe. So for instance, my client based out of Colorado, I did have a color analysis with her last week, and I'm going to have a styling session with her at the beginning of next year. And she already started to upload all of her wardrobe picture in this app, which is amazing to me because I can already see what works, what doesn't work, and create from there. And also, it's also a great tool for my client and I to stay in communication through the app. And one of the best feedback that I had from that is it's very convenient. So for instance, all they have to do is go in the app and be like, okay, what do I wear today? What are my mood board? Where are my mood board recommendation from Elsa? And just get style inspiration from there as well. So it's a new way of working, which is great.
You've made it so simple. I absolutely love it.
Thank you. I mean, I had to find a way to make it simple for me and for them, right? Because I mean, my job is so much about one-on-one, hands-on. So it was really, touching the fabric, seeing your client in real, and touching your color drape. And I was like, wow, how am I gonna do this when COVID happened? I was freaking out. But thanks God, I trained with one of the best, who is actually based out in Florida as well, by Ferial. And being a member, after training with her, being a member to the styling group allowed me to use some tool that we can use as a certified image consultant, which basically allows me to carry on my business online as well.
Thank you. And Elsa, as we come to the last segment of our show, something I wanted to talk about, because I think it's very timely and important, is many people have gone through significant changes in their life, and whether it's because of the pandemic or not. But it's a good time, I think, when somebody's going through something, for example, grieving, or if they've been mental health issues, or maybe they have lost their job, or maybe they have to make a decision about their job because of the vaccination requirements. That's a good time, isn't it, to look at yourself and say, hey, am I still what I'm showing to the world? Or is it time to work with Elsa and see who I really am today and how I'm expressing myself?
It's a good question. Well, yes, definitely. We do hear beautiful stories lately, but also very tragic stories. And I'm sure that when people are faced with difficult choice, such as whether they should carry on a job or not because of vaccination obligation, or people who lost their job during the pandemic, I'm sure that sometime clothes might be the latest thing they want to think about. And I understand that, because you might look to them being something not so important, and I understand. But my job as an image consultant, it is not just only to tell you what to wear. It's also to take you on a journey from where you are with yourself now to how you want to feel about yourself. And yes, the tool that I use with that is also clothes, yes, but there is also a lot of coaching for those who require to, like my client I mentioned to you earlier. I really work on I have obviously defined services on my website, but I also work in a bespoke way with my clients. And my point here is that if and that happened in the past, my client needs some coaching in terms of confidence coaching, this is definitely something I also help my client with. And this is definitely something that can be beneficial. I also have my own coach. And I think that I'm a big believer that we need to have mentor, coach, to help us go through some time in life. It doesn't need to be something you have all the time, but sometimes we do need that extra help. So there's definitely some benefit to work with me beyond the aspect of the clothes itself.
I love how comprehensive your approach is. You look at the whole person, body, mind, and soul, it sounds like, which is what we really need, right? It's not just about picking something up off of a rack and putting it on. It's how do we feel while we're wearing it? It's how do we feel about ourselves, because the clothes are an enhancement of that. So I really appreciate that. Well, our show is up for today. I think it's been a fantastic show. I'm so glad that we're doing this, and there's so many more topics that we want to discuss. Just share with us a little bit about anything you want to share about the holidays. Any tips for dressing for holiday success?
Oh, yes. We can see, and I'm sure you saw it, sequin are everywhere right now for Christmas. So just be bold and just be creative for this time of the year, and just put your best creative foot forward, and maybe try there a little bit to wear something you will not usually wear for Christmas. Yes, that's my advice.
I love that you said about sequins. My obsession is this workout called Solid Core, and the coach, two different coaches, were wearing sneakers that were covered in sequins. And I
Yeah.
thought, how cool is that? Because the room's really dark and you can see their feet going back and forth. So try something new, be different, stand out, feel good about yourself.
Yes, exactly. I'm a sequin addict lately. Like the more I see them in store, the more I want to buy them. It's crazy.
Well, I love them also. Elsa, thank you so much for being here today. I'm going to spotlight you. What's the best way for people to contact you and how can they start working with you?
Sure. So they can contact me directly via email, Elsa at elsabestyling.com, or directly on my website. And they can, send me an email. You can also see my number on my website, so you can either WhatsApp me on both number, and we'll take it from there. If you are based in Paris or in Europe, we can definitely meet. If you are based out of the US, we can work online and on one-on-one when I will be traveling next year in Florida. But for now, I'm here.
Wonderful. Well, I wish you a blessed holiday and I look forward to seeing you again next week.
Me too. Me too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Everyone, thank you so much for watching today. I'd love to hear your feedback about this show. If you want to reach out to me, you can put it in the comments or you can email me, Jacalyn at drjacalyn.com. So a couple of things before we wrap up, in case you missed the beginning of the show. We will be broadcasting 5 days a week starting this week. That's Monday through Friday. And starting next year in January, we have a new schedule and we've got new shows and some of the existing shows that you've come to love. We will be launching the Talking Heads programming, which are 30-minute shows that are strictly with an expert. I will not be there. Nobody from USA Global TV will be there. We'll be producing it. But these individuals are leaders in their field, and they will have their own show under the Talking Heads programming. Last announcement is we have our reunion show coming up. That is January the 1st. We will be live streaming for 6 hours. And if you've been a guest or a co-host or a sponsor and you would like to join us, please go over to eventbrite.com and just put in USA Global TV reunion show. It's limited to the first 30 people. We have a few slots left and you will be able to promote your business. It is not an interview. It is all about you and whatever it is that you are promoting, your services, your products, your music, whatever performance you're in, anything that you want to promote, please feel free to do it on our show. It's our gift back to everyone. All right. Thank you again. We look forward to seeing you back here later on today. Take care. Thank you.